So hi, Miss Albertha Warren. How are you?
I'm fine, Miss Kaia Simmons. How are you today?
I'm excited to be talking to you. This is National Mentor Month, and we at VIPS thought about who could we recognize, who would we love to talk to about their volunteering experience, which yours is extensive. And ultimately you have been a mentor to some wonderful people, especially children that we serve with volunteers in public schools. And we just want to know all about that, and why that's important to you, and tell us about your student. Tell us about yourself, first of all, just some general information.
Well, first of all, I'm a retired teacher, counselor. After 37 years of working in the Kaia Parish and East Baton Rouge Parish, which is my home, and I'm a widow. As a matter of fact, my husband's birthday is Sunday, so I've been trying to work on the tribute for that. And I have two daughters. uh, One in Dallas, who I have not seen since March because of the pandemic, and
Yes.
the other one is here in town with a 2-year-old. So I do have a chance to be with him. But my daughter in Dallas has two daughters, so we use FaceTime a lot, and we began to use Zoom. So,
Good, good, good.
and
So
I'm a
this is
member
good
of Greater
practice.
Mount Carmel Baptist Church, where I've been all my life from in Scotlandville.
Fantastic. That's some new news that I didn't even know about you. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
Um, you also happen to be a family friend, a good friend of my
I
uncle. So
know.
we're closely connected. So
Yes, that's
I'm really
amazing.
thrilled to be able to have this interview with you and learn more about you. How did
Well,
you
thank you.
initially hear about volunteers in public schools, and what about our
Well,
mission piqued your interest in
okay. Well,
volunteering?
I've heard about it for a while, but I didn't partake of it. But then I have a church member who's 20 years older than I am. She was my second grade teacher, and I found out she was volunteering. And I said, if she can volunteer and she's 20 years older than me, and she taught me, that gave me the desire to do something for others other than myself.
Right.
And so when I saw her doing it, it was over at the same school at Progress Elementary, and that piqued my interest, and I really was have been pleased with this.
Fantastic. So that's where you've been volunteering, right? Progress Elementary?
Yes, at Progress Elementary.
Faithfully, faithfully. And I'm sure they are just elated to have you, especially so consistently for the last 2 years you've been there, right?
Yeah, I think it's been longer because
Longer than that?
Tristan was second grade now, and I was there 2 years before him.
Oh, wow.
So I think it's about four now.
So why have you been so committed to volunteering with VIPS, especially at Progress? And, what about the experience makes you so dedicated?
Well, when you hear and you see the test scores, and it's always in the news about what the schools are not doing or what the kids are not doing, I felt that as a educator, to use my talents that God has blessed me with to share with others.
Hmm.
And so
Yes.
not only was I able to work with Tristan, and there were some other kids before Tristan, but I've had him longer. But as I saw young teachers there, I could offer them advice also. And so
Good.
being in the school itself and with such a receptive staff, it was easy to go in and to help, especially when they had programs and activities or whatever.
Well, good. And our volunteers have been able to support teachers and staff throughout the years, and just to know that you are available to them, and the consistency and reliability, I'm sure, speaks volumes. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Share with us your experience with your student Tristan specifically. I know you mentioned his name. I'm sure everyone wants to know a little more about him. I know I do. We know he's become pretty fond of you.
Oh, yes. Tristan has really been a delight, and it has been just a pleasure to watch him grow. I started with him in kindergarten, moved
Hmm.
to first grade and second grade. So I had the pleasure of having him 3 years, and to watch him grow. starting out not reading at all, and then to
Mhm.
become a reader, and you could hear and feel the excitement as he started to accomplish those kinds of things. And I remember the one incident when he thought I would not come back after the holidays. He was so glad to see me. It made me feel so special because he said, "You've been gone for so long," but it was a Christmas break. That was year before last. And
Uh-huh.
so that made me feel good too, because I need a little warm fuzzy also. And
Mhm.
the thing that I've noticed about him, he's so excited. He wanted to pull in the other boys. So whenever I would go get him, on some days I will allow them to come because he showed leadership ability. I could see a big difference in him, and he could tell them what to do. And one
Mhm.
of the other things that I did with Tristan, we wrote a book. I made a book using his pictures
Wow.
and noting things that he wanted to become. I think he wanted to become a fireman. So I took pictures, and then he was able to read that book, and I was able to give him. It was a short couple of page book, but he still enjoyed that, uh, and that
Oh,
helps him with his path to his career. That's what he chooses
yes.
to do.
Yes. That's fantastic, Miss Warren. Not only just to take the time out, but to be creative and pay attention to what the students' interests are, and to feed into that and provide materials and activities that you know that they would be drawn to, and even to notice his leadership skills in him, and
Yes,
and nurture that. That is fantastic. And it just provides a platform for literacy to be contagious because he's bringing in
exactly.
other students and you're welcoming that whole. And then, all of you are now sitting together, what,
Yes,
reading and learning together. And that's just
learning
beautiful.
together. That was a
That's
highlight
fantastic.
when those and when we come, they say, "Oh, here comes Miss Warren. Can we go? Can we go?"
Oh,
Yeah. So that was exciting,
and
and
we
I
get
I
that.
miss that.
Yeah, we get that from our volunteers, how they are not only giving to the students, but how much the students give back to them just because
Exactly.
of the enthusiasm and looking forward to seeing them. So it's really a two-way street. It's
I
both are
agree.
benefiting. Hmm.
Yeah, both are benefiting because I benefit as much as he does because I feel like I'm giving and he's receiving. So we're in this together. And if you anytime you can make a difference in a child's life, do it. And so
Right,
I give of myself to him and not be selfish about my wants and my needs because
right,
I can so readily give.
right. And, I know that missing element is there, like you touched on, you miss your student. A lot of our volunteers are missing their students. We're trying to supplement that engagement virtually. And I know you're still very committed to virtual tutoring, and we appreciate that, and we try to make it as interpersonal as possible. So thanks for sticking with VIPS, and also for being such a dedicated volunteer and a faithful donor as well. Why do you think it's important to support volunteers in public schools, especially during this time?
Now, I feel it's very important to support this because they give back so much. So many books I've gotten to share with my students. Uh, they need resources also. And I
Right.
figure you can keep giving, but sometimes you have to get something back. So I feel that if I can uh, be a donor to that cause, the more we have to work with. So it's a two-way street. We receive, but we also need to give, and that's what it's all about: helping each other. And then I know it's going to a worthy cause because I see the work that your office is doing and providing for all the students, many books that they have to go and books that I use for them to read. So when you see where your donation is going, it makes you more apt to give.
And we appreciate that. Even though we're not visiting schools in person at this time, we're still delivering books to schools and still making great effort to get books in the households of our East Baton Rouge Parish schools and families. And we appreciate you, Miss Warren, tremendously for not only your dedication for these past few years and also taking the time to speak with me. Is there anything else you want to share about your volunteer experience with VIPS in closing?
Well, one thing that I really enjoy doing with VIPS would be the outreach at different locations around town. I had never heard of some of the restaurants or the businesses that we frequent, because it was an outreach for us to pick up literature or whatever.
Hmm.
And I learned so many places. I share with my friends. I said, this is the place we need to go, the coffee shop,
Yeah.
and very, very nice places. And not only that, the people that I have met, whenever we have a meeting, you're not just working with talking to educators. You're looking at people who are lawyers, doctors, nurses, housewives, people without an educational school background that can bring so much to the plate. So when you listen to them and you get ideas of some of the things that they're doing with their kids, then you can gain that from them. So I think the relationship with all the volunteers coming together at one time or another was so very important. And I met a lot of people, and sometimes I see them in the stores now. And so I
Oh,
think that it's just a good cause.
thank you for that. We previously did make a lot of effort to get volunteers to connect with each other and meet each other, because we're all working towards the same cause. And so we would provide spaces, whether it be different little coffee shops or different
Yes,
restaurants, just to meet up and get books and get tips and worksheets and support each other by sharing stories and make recommendations of how to keep your students engaged, and just kind of talk. And, it's good to know that those were very enriching, and you felt supported and also got to meet some amazing people, because our volunteers are from all walks of life, which is great.
exactly,
Yeah, we strongly believe in diversity, not only in our students, but our volunteer base as well, and our
exactly,
community partners. A lot of those places that you met at were partners that support VIPS as well and allowed us to be in those spaces. And so we truly thank them. And it's good to hear how beneficial those experiences were, and some of the relationships that came from that.
yes. And I would also like to thank you and your staff, because you couldn't ask for a more wonderful set of people who come together to work together, always kind, always giving, always providing. And that makes a big difference too, when you have a staff with a positive attitude. Nothing is too small. You can always call the office. They're going to always answer or return the call, and that means so much when you're working with people of that nature. And I just say hats off to VIPS for a wonderful job that you and your staff are doing, and I'm just so glad to be a part of it. And I'm encouraging others to join also.
Thank you so much, Miss Warren. I've truly enjoyed this conversation with you. I know you're a busy woman. You stay volunteering somewhere, but I just like to end with letting everyone know, listen to her words, and be encouraged. And if you're interested in contacting VIPS or learning more about VIPS, our website is www.vipsbr.org. That's VIPSBR.org. You can follow us on Facebook at Volunteers in Public Schools, and Instagram as well, VIPS BR as well. And if you're interested in volunteering, you can email us at everybodyreads@ebrschools.org. And any community partners that want to do a special thing to support our public schools, a special project or a donation or anything, we can work out how that can look. You can contact me directly. I'm Kaia Simmons, Volunteer and Community Partners Director, and my email is ksimmons1, numerical one, at ebrschools.org. Thank you again, Miss Warren. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for those lovely pearls that you wore for us. You look gorgeous as always. And
Well,
we
thank
will be
you.
talking to you soon.
I sure will. Look forward to it. And thank you so much for everything. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. And let us know if you need anything at any
I
time.
sure will. Thank
All right.
you.
Goodbye.
Bye.